The best way you can support me is with a simple subscribe. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this. All right, let's do top 5 MVP candidates of the season. Listen, very tough for me to tell you the 5 guys who I think have a puncher's chance at MVP. Let's do it like this. At number 5, I'm going to go out of the box here, and I'm going to go Jimmy Butler. Why would I go Jimmy Butler? Here's the thing. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been unable to make the playoffs with Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins thus far in their young careers. Again, these are young cats. They're young. But I'll say this. You bring in a guy like Jimmy Butler. Tibbs is his man. That's his head coach he had in Chicago. You got Jeff Teague, a guy that's going to be looking to pass first. I think this is Jimmy Butler's opportunity to really make some noise. I think this might be his opportunity. What Karl-Anthony Towns is great at, he's going to always be great, and he could very well be the guy that sneaks in and gets into this MVP race. I just think it might be a year or two too early for Karl-Anthony Towns. I think Jimmy Butler is going to have more of the moments in late game situations. He's going to be the guy with the basketball in his hand, making clutch shots. He had as many clutch shots as anybody did last year for the Bulls. Obviously, he's going to be in a lot more close games. Minnesota was one of the worst fourth quarter teams in the NBA last season. So now you got a guy in Jimmy Butler who's going to clean up some of that in the fourth. And he's a great two-way player. So defensively, we'll see some of his great moments as well on guys like LeBron, Kevin Durant, and a lot of the bigger beasts in the NBA. All right. So I think Jimmy Butler at 5 could be somebody who sneaks up on our MVP radar. Just depends on where his Minnesota Timberwolves team finishes in the rankings. At number 4, it gets tricky here. I had to hyphen this one. I got Kevin Durant / Steph Curry. There's only room for one Golden State Warrior in the top 5. Last year was pretty much KD until he went down with an injury. This year, I got a feeling Steph's going to come back with a vengeance, man. But the stats are probably going to lean towards Kevin Durant because Steph's not going to average double-digit assists. Draymond accounts for a lot of the assists. Kevin Durant could average double-digit rebounds, though. So maybe if Steph and KD are both averaging around 24, 25 points, but Steph's only averaging around 4 to 5 assists, and KD's averaging around 10 rebounds, and then he is averaging about a block or 2 a game. He picked it up on the blocks last year. I think it's going to be Kevin Durant, but I could very well see Steph. KD took a shot at his brand Under Armour. Maybe Steph wants to prove that he's still the guy of this team. Again, the Warriors did win championship last year. The Warriors kind of took a backseat for Kevin Durant to have his moment in the finals. Maybe Steph wants another MVP. This is a 2-time MVP, and before Kevin Durant got there, he was a unanimous MVP. Maybe he wants another one. We'll see. I'll say Kevin Durant over Steph, but between those two, there's going to be one Warrior on their list because their record is going to be so great. They're going to be head and shoulders better than every team in the NBA by record, and they might be competing for that 74-8 NBA all-time record. They're competing against themselves. At number 3, I got Kyrie Irving. I was going to go 2 with Kyrie Irving, but you'll see the other 2 guys, and it'll all make sense in a second. Kyrie Irving is the star of that Boston Celtics team. I mean, this is literally why he wanted to leave LeBron James. He felt as if though he had to kind of leave the nest to spread his wings. Well, you left the nest, Kyrie. You got your team. You got a guy in Gordon Hayward who I feel as if though he's better as a number 2. I don't look at him as a guy that can lead your team to a championship. Kyrie can play with Gordon Hayward. Gordon can still get his 20. Kyrie could probably get 28, 29. Kyrie looks good. I've been looking at him in the preseason. He looks good. He looks like he's motivated. He looks like he's been working on his game. Perimeter shot looks better than ever. Getting to the rim, he looks good. I even seen him dunk a couple times in a half-court set. We hadn't seen much of that from Kyrie Irving in the past. Kyrie looks good. He looks great. Looks ready to go. Looks motivated. Got a big in Al Horford that I think he'll really like to play with. He got guys that can give him the rock and kind of just do his thing. He can kind of play that speed basketball, that fast break offense with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Kyrie wanted to play that in Cleveland, but Cleveland was built around like a half-court set. So Kyrie got everything he wanted. He's in that Boston uniform. That home crowd is going to have him hyped up for a lot of those games. His assists might go up. He said he wants to be a point guard now. His assists will go up. His points probably will go up as well. Kyrie is equipped to have a chance at this MVP just as much as anybody else. At number 2, I gave Kawhi Leonard a slight edge over Kyrie Irving for the simple fact of Kawhi's doing it with less. And if the Spurs keep pace with what they're usually doing, around 61, 62 wins, If they get to 65, I think Kawhi deserves a strong look at MVP. I mean, think about it. James Harden added a superstar in Chris Paul. Russell Westbrook added one superstar to me and possibly a superstar in Paul George. Definitely at least 2 stars in Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Everybody got better but Kawhi. Kawhi got Rudy Gay. And they re-signed Pau Gasol. They didn't get better pretty much. They didn't really get better. They didn't add any stars. So Kawhi, if this Spurs team can still stick around 63, 64 wins, somewhere around that range, you got to really give Kawhi some strong MVP consideration. Now, I don't know how long he's going to be out. I heard he's out for the season opener. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but if he can come back in the first couple weeks of the season, I think he's going to deserve a lot of credit if the Spurs are the same old good. And everybody else added a piece. Kawhi didn't get that star piece. I think this is his year to win MVP. Along with Pop, I don't know how many more years Pop wants to do this thing at an elite level. This is Kawhi's chance because he's doing it with less, right? Tony Parker's getting old. Danny Green not making that shot as consistent as he did in the past. Pau Gasol's maybe in his last season. I personally think Kawhi Leonard has a great chance of winning MVP. And number 1 in the hood, LeBron James. The best chance at winning MVP this season. Look, I know LeBron wants one last MVP for number 5. You know that. This is his best chance. You got a team that got worse from a star standpoint. Isaiah Thomas is simply not as good as Kyrie Irving. Period. People look at Isaiah Thomas as a bona fide role player. He's a guy that on a team that allows him to take shot after shot, he'll get his. A la the Boston Celtics. Kevin Love, I don't think people look at him as a superstar. They look at him as a star, borderline star. This is LeBron James' opportunity. If he's thinking about going to the Los Angeles Lakers the following year, the San Antonio Spurs, wherever he ends up going after this season in Cleveland, the MVP conversation is going to be dead. All right? That's going to be a dead conversation. He's not going to be in the running for the MVP. With the Cleveland Cavaliers gives LeBron James his best opportunity at winning Most Valuable Player of the Year. And this season is set up, if you look around, for LeBron James to compete for MVP. His Cleveland Cavalier team will have a chance at being the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. It just kind of depends on how much Tyronn Lue and Dwayne Wade and Bron and Jay Crowder and Kevin Love and company, how much they want to go for it. It just depends on how much they want to go for it. They'll have a chance. Boston, it'll be close, right? Then you look at the Warriors, again, KD, Steph, that dynamic would tell me they're going to probably cancel each other out. You got the Spurs, who I think Kawhi could be a runner. Again, I think LeBron has an incredible chance at winning MVP, and he had really good stats last season. Statistically, last season was pretty much his best season across the board. He just had Russell Westbrook averaging triple-double after triple-double. So if LeBron's going to do this MVP for his career, this will be the last season he had an opportunity. And you got a guy like Dwayne Wade who will assist him in stuffing that stat sheet down the stretch if need be, as LeBron James won MVPs while he was down in Miami and South Beach. LeBron's got the best opportunity. Kawhi's a close second. Again, I'm happy to see this NBA season take place. MVP is going to be close. I had a tough time making this decision. Harden got help now. He was number 2 in MVP running last year. Russ got help now. He was the MVP last year. And LeBron is LeBron. All right. And we'll see. That's my MVP ranking. Who I think is going to win MVP in order from 5 to 1. Talk to me. Comment box below. I would love to know your suggestions. I'm out. What's going on is yours truly, Mr. TALIAFERRO. And if you enjoyed this latest video, whether it's sports, hip-hop, or other culture-related activities, please subscribe to my channel right now. And if you want more from TALIAFERRO, you can always subscribe to the React channel for more of your latest reactions and music and sports highlights.